All right, Jessica, tell us a little bit about Comic-Con while I dial up our guests.
Scott, is this the first of the Nancy Drew Mysteries games?
I don't know. No, they've actually been doing them for a while.
I spoke to Mr. Young yesterday, and he said this was actually the 14th.
Yeah, it's a huge All right, here we go.
Her interactive. In order for us to...
yeah, all right, we got you. Typing in the code. We're looking for Jessica.
1 moment, please.
Chiang.
You have entered an invalid extension.
What? The hell I have?
Do you know your party's extension?
I do. It's 235.
1 moment, please.
1 moment, please. We have been overrun by robots, I have to tell you. The computers are everywhere. They answer
Hello?
all... Hi,
Okay.
Jessica. Jessica?
Hello?
This is Scott Rubin from All Games Interactive.
Oh, hi, guys. How are you?
We're good. We're live on the air, and we're excited to talk to you.
Hello? I can barely hear you guys.
Oh, I'm sorry. Better? No?
Hello?
Hello? Better? Can you hear us now? How about now? Better?
A little bit.
A little bit better. Yeah. Hey, you know what? Let me, boy. This is what happens when my producer gets sick. Okay, can you try and give us a call in? Maybe that'll help?
Okay, I'll call you right back.
Alrighty, thank you. Sorry. Wow.
No problem.
Good Lord. See what happens, guys, when Mayor Young isn't here? People are like, this call better be good. God, please let this work. Please let this work. Hello, you're on the air.
This is Jessica.
And can you hear us?
A little bit better this time.
All right. Well, we'll try and make it short and sweet. Basically, you're here to talk about a game for teen girls. Talk a little bit about what that market is. Who will be playing the Nancy Drew Mysteries?
Okay, well, first of all, Nancy Drew has always been an icon. She's been a legend, based on the Nancy Drew books. And what we did is we took her legend and her stories and we made it into a game that we thought that everyone would enjoy. So it's not just about Nancy Drew, it's about a good mystery game. And of course our games do target teen girls and tween girls, but it's also their moms. So a lot of girls will get excited. They're like, oh, Mom, I saw this really cool game. Could you get it for me? And then the mom will buy it. And then they'll need help. They'll get stuck in the game. They're like, oh, Mom, can you help me? And the mom will be playing, and she'll get hooked on it. And then once she gets hooked on it, she'll pass it to her mom. So we have grandmothers playing the game now. And then the grandmother calls us up and says, oh, I love your Nancy Drew games. I read all the books when I was a kid, and it's very nostalgic for them. So it's not just for tween girls, it's for everybody.
Now, that is one thing. I watch the Super Nanny show where they show up at these parents who have no clue what they're doing, and they teach them how to be parents. And one of the things was you should be playing with your kids. So this is something that is probably good for, like, time together where you play it alongside. It's not like the typical play it by yourself shooter game or puzzle game where it's just one player. You can kind of try and solve things together.
Right, definitely. So what we recommend a lot of times, especially for the younger girls, is to have somebody play with them, and so they can try to see, oh, if you didn't understand this, what did you think? What did you do instead? Did you look around this part? Did you go behind the closet and check underneath the couch for this one clue? Or we also have hints and tips online that they can actually get onto our message board, and they'll share tips that they've used with each other. And so it's kind of a community, and a lot of people will just be on there to try to solve the games together.
Yeah, now I agree that I'm constantly losing clues under the couch. So that is good advice. Always check under the couch. Now, what is the gameplay like? Is it like a hunt and search kind of thing? Like, is it 3D? What does the game look like, and how does the player interact with the world?
Well, our games are basically a point and click, and what you do is you go through these very detailed environments. The graphics on here are just gorgeous. And you'll go through these environments such as a parlor or the beach, and you'll look for clues. And when you find a clue, your magnifying glass will light up red, and you'll be, oh, okay, I can click on this. And you click on it, and what it'll do is it'll pop up an object, and you'll look at your clue. So it might be some mysterious message or something that somebody's left behind, and then you progress throughout the game, and of course you're going to have to find a key to get through the door, and sometimes you just get stuck, and then there's also puzzles that you have to solve to get through the game as well.
I tell you, as a hardcore gamer, this used to be the standard adventure game style, and a lot of people have said that they're sad that it's kind of turned into everything's like 3D and first person and third person. What about the story? Because obviously these have been books for a long time. Who writes the story for these new games, and how close are they tied to the story that people grew up reading?
Well, we have a team here that basically reads a lot of the Nancy Drew books, and they pick some of their favorite ones, and they'll kind of take the plot from it, and it's based very loosely on the book. But then they go on, they create their own games. So none of our games actually play like the mystery. So if you've read the book, it doesn't go that way. We actually take a couple of books and combine them together. So for instance, our newest game, Danger by Design, which just released the other day, on Monday actually, is actually based on Death by Design. And it just takes a very loose premise from it, and then we build on it to make a more immersive storyline.
How old is Nancy now? I mean, granted, it's like, in the story world, she doesn't really age, but is she 17? Is she 21? Can she have a beer yet?
Well, last year was Nancy's 75th anniversary, but
oh my Lord.
In our games, you are Nancy Drew. So she is however old you want her to be. And it's
Can you imagine if Nancy Drew was actually 70?
Game.
Yeah.
I was going to say, can you imagine if she was actually 75 years old, still trying to solve these mysteries? I guess she would be Angela Lansbury, right? Wouldn't that be who Nancy Drew probably is as an older woman?
She wrote.
Yeah. I mean, that would make sense.
Oh, getting there.
Yeah.
But we definitely tried to update her a little bit.
Yeah.
When we first started the games, we talked to women and girls and asked them what they, thought about Nancy Drew, and some of it came back and they're like, oh, she's a little too perfect, So we gave her a sense of humor. She kind of gets stuck, and she's like, oh, it's locked. I need a key. And you kind of have to laugh at her being a little silly sometimes.
Right.
But it's trying to make her more
modern,
being able to make her more relatable to
right.
the audience,
right.
and on top of that, giving her new gadgets. So she has this cool camera cell phone. She is going to be getting a GPS tracker, and she also has a laptop and can check the internet.
So she definitely is updated with new technology. That's a good sign. Now, what about the Hardy Boys? Where are those guys at? Are they still hanging around her?
Oh, yeah. The Hardy Boys are definitely still Nancy's good buddies. In fact, most of the time they're on the phone. So you can call them if you have any questions.
Oh, wow.
You're kind of stuck somewhere. So you can call them up. And actually, for the very first time in Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon, that was the game before this one, they were actually characters in the game that you got to meet, and they helped you on your mystery, and they helped you solve it. And you could play as Frank for a little bit, and you made cheeseburgers.
Now, I would say that most girls, they don't want to have to go to the boys for help. They want to finish it without the Hardy Boys, right? You don't need the guys to help you.
Oh, yes. Oh, no, you don't need the guys.
Okay.
But you know what? They're kind of cute, so, it's kind of an added bonus that they're there, because a lot of the times it was Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. But so we were able to put them in there, and then not only that, but some of the boys were like, oh, yeah, I would play Nancy Drew if there was more Hardy Boys in there. So it's kind of a little bit of a crossover for you.
Now, what about consoles? Is this just a PC game? Will we see this on any of the PlayStation or Xbox?
Well, currently it's just on PC because of the type of game it is. The point and click seems to work a little bit better on the
that's
PC.
True. That's true.
But girls definitely are on the consoles as well. As that the DS has been a hit with a lot of the girls.
Now, what about the continuing story? In other words, there's 14 of these?
Mm-hmm.
And how many people are playing Nancy Drew? In other words, is this something where it's like the Mary-Kate and Ashley? Is this like a franchise that continues to just, keep going year after year?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Nancy Drew has, like I said, she's a legend. And all of her games, when we first started our very first game, Secrets Can Kill in 1997, that was a long time ago, we had no idea that it was going to get this big, but we've sold 2.5 million games.
Oh,
it is the #1 selling PC adventure franchise in units, beating out Myst, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. And I think a lot of the reason why these girls and these women keep on playing these games is because of the story.
Yeah.
You know, each game has its own take on its own mystery, and it's all a little bit different, but it's still the same great story.
Now, Her Interactive obviously focusing on girls' games. Is there a philosophy there at the company that the games should all kind of socially be responsible and teach things, or is teaching not really a part of it? It's really just about having fun?
Well, you know what? When we first started making the Nancy Drew games, we wanted to make something that was a little different. We wanted to make something that was fun, that was high quality, that, you know, everybody would like to play. And it's not just, you know, it's about making a high quality game that also doesn't have violence, because there are great games out there that don't have violence in them. And this was just one way to make a type of game that would be a lot of fun for people to play, and that, you know, that they could not have to worry or not have to see gender stereotypes and
Right.
not have to see the gratuitous violence just because some people aren't into that.
Right. I mean, MacGyver never killed anybody. He, you know, solved all his stuff with chewing gum and shoelaces. So what are some things that we would never see in a Nancy Drew game? That we'll never see Nancy Drew, like, drinking a beer or any kind of weapon, right?
Right. She's
Never.
probably never going to be smoking. She'll never be drinking, and she's never going to do anything that you would not be wanting your daughter to be doing.
Right. And Nancy Drew never going to ever get married? Is this lifelong flirt with the Hardy Boys just a cover? Why no romance? Why no, like even Barbie got Ken and they eventually had a dream house together. Why no Nancy Hardy or Nancy Drew Hardy?
Nancy Drew Hardy.
Well, you know, actually, Nancy has a boyfriend named Ned. But you know what?
Ned?
She doesn't need him. She
Right.
can solve these mysteries all by herself.
Absolutely. Ned's
And
just
you
there
know-
to cook her dinner when she gets home after a long day.
Well, you know, she's got that adventuresome spirit, and she's probably going to be off solving mysteries 24/7.
Oh my God, poor Ned. What's Ned going to do by himself all that time? Well, it does sound like this is a game that kind of allows a girl to feel like a little bit of the lead character in a you know, industry dominated by male characters. And it uses their brain. It's like, you know, problem solving, challenging, and that's good. That is something good, and it allows girls to feel comfortable about playing games, which in this day and age, you know, a lot of guys wonder, how come I can't meet a girl that plays games? And I think it's good that Her Interactive is focusing on titles that allow girls to kind of get comfortable with the mouse and keyboard in a game environment instead of just chatting and IMing their friends about how much they hate the boys in their school. Yeah.
Well, thanks. We're
Yeah.
very glad to hear that people out there are big fans of our game, and that, you know, they're discovering something new, and that there is something for girls out there besides, you know, just the shoot 'em ups and all the games that the boys are playing, because for once there's something for them too.
Yeah. Now, before we go, we have a live chat room, and a lot of the people in chat are saying, who the hell is Ned? Like, how did we never hear anything about Ned before? And is he in the game?
Well, Ned is actually the useless boyfriend.
Is he? Do we
he's
see him in the
actually
game?
Been with them for quite a while, but he just provides hints and tips most of the time and ends up getting himself kidnapped and getting in the way anyway.
Dumb kid. Yeah. I guess, you know, every girl at some point in her life has a useless boyfriend, and Ned is it for Nancy.
Yep, that would be Ned.
Right
but,
on.
You know, sidekick nonetheless.
Right on. So the game is out now, and what is the price point of a game like this?
Well, actually, the game just released on Monday, and it is available at all major retail stores, mass market, specialty game stores. So you'll see it at Best Buy, you'll see it at Target, you're going to see it at GameStop and Walmart, and its actually suggested retail price is $19.99.
Yeah, it's
you
a
can
bargain.
also get
Yes,
it
I
online
It's
at Amazon.com, where we've, by the way, been the #1 selling PC game for the past 3 days.
Awesome.
And then you can also get it at www.herinteractive.com, which is our store.
Herinteractive.com, that's the website, and they can kind of see screenshots and see what the game looks like.
Oh, yeah, there's a trailer there, and there's also a demo. It's a 328 megabyte demo that they can download to try out the game. It's actually hosted by AOL, where we've actually been in the top 10 games for the past 60 days on their download site.
Right on. You
So
go,
we're
girl.
Getting a lot of attention there.
Yeah, right on. Jessica Chain, Her Interactive. In the game, one more time, the title is?
Danger by Design.
It's just called Danger by Design. It doesn't have like a Nancy Drew mystery thing in front of it?
Well, it's Nancy Drew, Danger by Design, technically.
Yeah, she's
There's
big.
a lot of Nancy Drew games out there.
Right.
There's 14 of them.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So
Thank you very much. I had fun.
Right on. Me too. Right on. Jessica had fun, everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Hey, make sure you guys pick up the game.
We will. Our own Jessica.
All right.
Jessica, are you going to play this game? Our own Jessica?
I'll give it a shot. Yeah, I'd
Yeah?
love to.
It's death, not death by design.
Danger.
by
God.
design. See what happens? All these years of video game conditioning has put killing and death in the title of every title.